It started with the flashing red and blue lights outside my cabin. The evening had been quiet, filled with the sound of crickets and the gentle crackle of my fireplace. I was sipping coffee when the pounding at my door came, sharp, aggressive, and completely unexpected. When I opened it, I was met with a deputy, his hand hovering near his holster. Behind him stood Karen, short blonde hair, clutching her phone like a weapon, her expression a mix of fury and smug satisfaction. "There he is," she cried, pointing at me like I was some wanted criminal. "He's trespassing. He refused to leave when the HOA told him he had to. Arrest him." The deputy shifted uncomfortably. "Sir, do you live here?" I almost laughed at the absurdity of the question. "Live here, son? This cabin has been in my family for 3 generations. My name's on every deed, every boundary marker. This land is mine." Karen's face twisted, her voice rising higher. "That's a lie. This cabin is within the Lakeshore HOA's jurisdiction. He doesn't pay dues, he doesn't follow community rules, and he built that disgusting woodpile without approval." The deputy looked at me again, clearly caught between her shrieking demands and the calm steadiness in my voice. "Do you have proof of ownership?" he asked. I didn't just have proof. I had something Karen couldn't even imagine. With a steady hand, I pulled out the folder I kept in my desk, the county plat maps, notarized deeds, and the most important document of all, a letter from the county registrar declaring my family's ownership of not only this cabin, but nearly 87,000 acres surrounding it. I handed the deputy the papers. He skimmed them, his brows rising higher with every line he read. Karen leaned over, trying to snatch the papers, but he pulled them back. "This says," he stopped, looked at me, then looked back at her. "This says he owns the land outright. The entire county, in fact. HOA boundaries don't even apply here." Karen's mouth dropped open. That can't be right. That's impossible." I stepped forward, my voice low, steady, and cutting through the night air. "Karen, this isn't your cul-de-sac. This isn't your neatly trimmed lawn with fake flamingos. You don't make the rules here. My grandfather bought this land before you were even born. Your HOA doesn't own a single blade of grass past Highway 17. The only reason you even see this cabin is because your gated community crept up closer and closer, buying parcels until it kissed the edge of my property line. But this cabin, this land, it's mine, every tree, every stream, every acre. And you just called 911 to try and throw me off it." For once, she was silent. The deputy, however, cleared his throat. "Ma'am, you made a false report. You can't call the police to enforce HOA rules, especially not outside their jurisdiction." Karen's face turned crimson. She sputtered, shaking with rage. "You don't understand. He refuses to join the HOA. He won't follow our regulations. We have to maintain order." I couldn't help but chuckle, the sound echoing through the dark woods. "Order? You tried to call the law on me, Karen. But you don't even know the law you're standing on. You're nothing here." Her voice cracked, high-pitched and desperate now. "We'll take this to court. We'll sue you. You can't just." "That's where you're wrong," I interrupted, stepping even closer. "I've already been to court. My family fought off a logging company, a mining outfit, and 2 separate developers over this land. Every judge ruled in our favor. And every one of them reaffirmed that my family owns not just the land under this cabin, but the very roads your neighbors drive on. The soil your HOA sits on. Karen, you're not threatening me. You're standing on my property." The deputy looked stunned. Karen looked like she might faint. I let the silence hang heavy in the air before delivering the final blow. "I could shut down your entire neighborhood tomorrow. I could revoke access to the lake your HOA brags about, because it's fed from a spring on my land. I could charge tolls on the only county road you use to get home. But I haven't, because unlike you, Karen, I'm not a bully. I just want to sit in my cabin, drink my coffee, and be left in peace." The deputy gave her a long, unimpressed look. "Ma'am, I strongly suggest you leave this man alone. If you keep harassing him, you're the one who's going to end up in trouble." Karen stammered, turned, and stormed off into the night, her expensive shoes crunching angrily against the gravel. I stood there watching her retreat, the deputy nodding politely before heading back to his cruiser. The woods fell quiet again, the kind of quiet you can only hear when you own everything around you. I shut my door, sat back down by the fire, and sipped my coffee. One thing was certain: Karen would think twice before bringing her HOA army back to my land again. Because in the end, she had just discovered the one truth no HOA could rewrite: You can't boss around the man who owns the county.